Okay, let's do some sharing. Oops, there we go, just sharing the feed. Hello. Reconnecting. Nope, I'm here. I'm here. Hopefully it's working now. I had to share the link and I haven't got a very good connection, it keeps dropping out. I think it's trying to use my Wi-Fi connection. Next time I need to remember to change it to my mobile connection. Hello, sorry for the technical glitches. It's the first time I've done this from outside, and I think it's trying to connect to my Wi-Fi indoors instead of using my phone data. So next time I'll know to switch my Wi-Fi off. It'll keep switching backwards and forwards. So, hello everybody. If you've not joined me before, I'm Romany from RhomanysRealm, and I am the, what should we call it, instigator, I guess, of the One Book July Challenge. You only got a few minutes. Excellent. That's okay, because I can't actually stay online for too long because doing live video actually uses up my battery like crazy. I've got 95% battery at the moment, but I can't stay on for too long because I can't plug it in out here, obviously. I don't have any electricity out here. Hopefully you can all hear me, because I don't want to be too loud, because obviously people are out in their gardens enjoying their day. So I just want to try and keep it at normal volume, which is not easy for me. Hi Claire, hi Ancient Wizard. Guys, Claire put your link in. Guys, if you haven't seen the Journal CEO, she has a written journaling magazine. It's the first proper written journaling magazine for written journalers to have a look at. It's full of prompts and ideas and articles and all sorts. It's fantastic. Okay, Book Chick, bye. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, put your link in, Claire, if you can, or if you can't, then I'll put it in the description box below. So if you're watching the replay, it'll be in the description box below. You can get the digital version, or you can actually get a print version now. It just came out this week, and it's fabulous. It's really, really good. I'm not particularly a written journaler. I tend to write notes rather than long pages. I do like brain dumps and morning pages and stuff like that, but it's just to clear my head. I don't written journal like Claire does. You know, if you've seen her videos, oh my god, she writes and writes and writes and writes and writes. I think you might have hypergraphia, you know. It's a compulsion to write things. I think I have hyper-sketchier compulsion to draw things. Hello, Miss Maddie. Come up and say hello. Oh, you've got stinky eyes. 1 second. Maddie's got allergic eyes and I've got to clean them. 1 second. Come here, baby. Oh, he's a good girl. Oh, poor baby. She gets green gunk in her eyes because she gets allergies. There you go, baby. Do you want to come up and say hello? Do you want to come up and say hello to everybody? No? No, I don't want to, Mum. Okay. So, yes, let's get on with this, shall we? Hello. For those who've just joined us, I'm Romany from RhomanysRealm. I am the instigator of One Book July, along with my friends Carrie Harling and Miss Vicky B. If you're watching the replay, the links will be down below. If you're not watching the replay, you probably already know them. Hi Scooby-Doo. And I just thought I would do my week 1 update live, because honestly I don't have time to edit a video right now. My studio, I'm at that stage where I've spent the last 2 days going, what have I done? What have I done? Why am I doing this? What have I done? Short blurbs, yeah, if I can't fit it on a post-it note, I don't really want to write it. I would much rather do a big page of sketches and then do like 1 line of, here's what we did today, or, you know, or I suddenly thought about such and such this morning and it reminded me of this from when I was a kid, you know. It's more like, I use my morning pages to journal out my feelings and my current brain activity, and once that's gone, you know, the rest of it is just whatever pops up during the course of the day. But they're just reminders. I don't really feel the need to... Oh, my hair. Look at those roots, man. Oh, I got to do my roots. Crikey. Sorry. I don't feel the need to write pages and pages and pages about, you know, what I'm doing or how I feel or what. I do that through my art. Speaking of which, let's get on with this. So my one book. Lots of people asking what this one book is. I will put a link down below in the description. I thought I'd put it in the last video, in my intro video. This is a C. Whites of Brighton A5 Traveller's Journal with the green band, not the blue one. The blue one is for dry media. The green one kind of takes watercolour, and it definitely takes acrylic and stuff like that. It's great for ink because it's heavy duty cartridge paper, 160 GSM drawing paper basically. So you can use it for inks and stuff. You can watercolour on it if you colour in with watercolour, but if you do proper watercolour, if you're an actual watercolour artist, don't expect it to work like a moleskin or anything like, or like proper watercolour paper, because it doesn't. But you can colour in with watercolour on it, totally. So, one book. I always use one book, so it's kind of a cheat. Let me show you the pen I've been using. I haven't been, like I say, I do morning pages and stuff, but I do those in composition notebooks with a basic ballpoint biro, a ballpoint pen. I don't use anything fancy for that. It's a composition book, and when I'm done, I chuck them, because I don't really want to read all that crap. Because that's all it is. It's just me working out stuff out of my head. Where's my pen? Put my glasses on, I'd be able to see a bit better. Oh, there we go, that's better. There's my pen. So I've been drawing with this. This is a Pentel pocket brush. It's the brush pen. Very, very nice, soft, nylon bristled brush. It's not dissimilar to a round acrylic brush. It's really nice to write with. The cartridges are a little bit expensive, but I've had this... Ooh, saying that, I need to get some new cartridges. But I've had this for 2 years, and that's the first time, only the second cartridge that I've gone through, so apparently I need some more. But what you can also do is fill it with Sumi ink. If you've got like a injector thing, what do they call them? You know, needle things for injections. Syringe. You can put Sumi ink in these as well, and that'll work too. So that's what I've been sketching with. Syringe, thank you. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. I was doing my everyday sketches. Note I say was. You probably saw this one previously. I had already started on my last live stream. I did a few pages where I just chucked some stuff down just to get started with pages, and what I did with this page was to chuck down this paper and this paper and no, not that paper, just this paper and this paper on this page, just to get started, just to have a background with the intention of drawing over it. Something I get asked a lot, and it was in my Q&A several times, was where do you get your inspiration from? This is where I get my inspiration from. I put down, just through, oh, I like that bit and that bit together, from my scraps. This is a map, which just happened to be of Paris. I don't know if they were from the same collection or something, but this is from Paris. Oh no, you can't see that, hang on. I'm trying to work out where my camera is. There we go. It's a map of Paris, which I didn't realise at the time, and that has the Eiffel Tower on it. So obviously, the Eiffel Tower, I went, aha, Paris, so that's going to be a theme then. And it's just word association from there. I just stuck those two bits down as background to draw on, because I knew if I wanted to draw over the top it would be easy to just white it out or colour over it or whatever. I started with finishing off lines on the map just to get me going. I had no idea what I was going to do. Hey, 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 can we play nicely please? So I drew in a little church there. See? That's a ballpoint pen. I was just getting going, just warming up, trying to think, not really think, but like, doodling on this page, what am I going to do? And if nothing had come to me, then I would have just moved on to another page, but something did come to me and I went, hang on a minute, Paris, Moulin Rouge. I love Moulin Rouge. And I already had this photograph that I had saved at the same time. You see this on the live stream. I kept this, and she looked very Parisian. Really loved it. So I thought, well, she looks kind of boho, gypsy, Parisian, kind of Moulin Rouge girlish. So I took a piece of, this is Stillman and Byrne alpha paper because it takes watercolour properly. I redrew her with my brush pen, and then I decided she needed to have the Moulin Rouge in the background. That made sense, even though the Moulin Rouge is nowhere near the Eiffel Tower. I thought, yeah, I'm going to draw it anyway. And as it happens, in my room, I've got a poster of the Moulin Rouge, so I just sketched it from that. So it's the famous red windmill and Moulin Rouge. And while I was drawing it, I thought maybe I would watercolour this in red. But by the time I put her on the page, I thought, hang on a minute, that reminds me of my other poster that I've got in my room, which is, you know, the Toulouse-Lautrec, the Chat Noir, the black cat poster, the yellow with the black cat and the red writing. It's for a French cabaret club. Well, Toulouse-Lautrec, during the days of the Moulin Rouge, he was a patron of the Moulin Rouge, and he also did a lot of the poster art for the cabarets and the Moulin Rouge itself and the theatres, and he was a huge, he was hugely known for his poster style rather than his paintings. His paintings are beautiful too, but he very much, you know, he was kind of one of the original urban sketchers. He used to do going out to coffee shops and painting the patrons, but he's best known, I think, for his cabaret posters in these very strong colours with black and white, because they had to be really eye-catching. And oops, hang on, I dropped her, 1 second. Technical hitch, talk amongst yourselves. How did I manage that? I can't reach her now, hang on. Yeah, there we go. To continue, I'll need to replace that washi tape. Where was I? Yeah, Toulouse-Lautrec, obviously well known for these coloured posters. And from there it was just a case of going, well, she looks a bit like one of those posters. She reminds me of that Chat Noir poster I've got next to the Moulin Rouge poster, so let's do her in those colours. So that's red and yellow gouache. Hi Vicky. And that was it. I just coloured it in. So that's where I get my inspiration from. I just start doing something. And if I have no inspiration, I just start cutting and sticking. So that was, finishing off that anyway, was my sketch day one. So she was my sketch day one. So before I move on to sketch day two, let me go back and catch up with comments. La la la, that's where Book Chick left, so I'm up to there. Hello to Washington State. Revamping your craft space. Well, I do it every year in July, because as a working artist it just gets on top of me and I can't do it on a regular basis because I don't have time. So when I take July off from filming and just make art for me, you know, I can make art for me anywhere, but I have to film at my table with my studio lights and everything else. So when I'm not filming for classes is the ideal time to clear it out and sort it out and just get rid of some crap and, you know, clear out the dross from the year and start again. So it's not really like a regular craft space, it's a working studio flat, I suppose. So it's not just like a craft room where I've dumped everything in it over the years and like most people use a craft room. It is a working studio, so I have to keep it reasonably clear. You love my hair. Thank you, and thank you for joining the challenge. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Finally caught you live. Yes, how's the puppies and the rents? The rents have gone home. That's why One Book July is late this week. I was supposed to do a regular video, proper video, on a Friday, as normal, but my parents decided to come and visit at the last minute, and I didn't realise they were coming, obviously, because they left it to the last minute to tell me. So I've got a lot done in the studio, but my sketching and videoing has gone a little bit awry. But I'm catching up with that today. So I'm catching up on my sketching today, and then tomorrow I'll make sure my patrons are caught up on videos. And I'm just doing today as a live update. I'm just checking my battery to make sure. Oh, I'm doing all right. The puppies are fine. I can move you around. There's Miss Maddie. Scooby-Doo is there. They're alternately... Sorry, I've got an itch. They are alternatively sitting in the shade and sitting in the sunshine, depending on how cooked they feel. Because it's 20 odd degrees today, it's beautiful. It's nice to get some warmth on your bones, isn't it, Miss Maddie? Hey? She's nice, isn't it? Good morning, hello, hello. Oh, hi Lee. Of course it's you, yeah. I always think you confuse me because I always think you're the other Alex. I always think you're Alex North when you come in on here. So it's a good job you reminded me. Bedford. Bedford, where's that? Luton? London way. I'm in Stoke in the Midlands. Ugh. A bit of hay fever today, I think. Should have probably taken an allergy tablet. Thank you, I'm glad you like the videos. Parent proofing. I don't parent proof anymore. I'm 45 years old. If they can't accept the fact that I'm lazy and artistic and creative and that I don't care about housework by now, then they're never going to. So, you know. My sister is extremely house proud, and she makes up for both of us in that regard. So, you know, I don't... They deal with what I have. People accept me as I am. If it bothered them, they wouldn't come, so. Hello, California. Yes, I'm a bit later than usual doing this, so it would be a reasonable time for you. Normally I do it in the middle of the night for you. Hanky. Oh, Maddie. Hanky says hi. Maddie, come say hello to Hanky. No, I think she's going to get a drink. She's too hot. She doesn't know what to do with herself. Humph to Scooby. He's just jealous. Coventry originally. Oh right, I'm from Bath, so we kind of crossed in the middle. Northeast Wisconsin. Hello. It's that snow and lake country, isn't it? Japan? Wow! I think you're my first Japanese watcher. Unless Mitz has caught us sometimes when she's over there. I know I've had a couple from... Renee's joined us a few times from Korea. No! Well, I can see from your avatar you're not Japanese. South Carolina. Copenhagen. Hello, Copenhagen. Minnesota. Oh, you teach English? That's what Renee does over in Korea. Actually, a lot of the people I know who go to Japan regularly or who are in Japan or that area either teach English or they are from there. So I'm assuming learning English is quite a high priority. There's a lot of a hint of a West Country, especially at the moment because I've had my dad around for the week. Because we all talk like Blackbeard. That's where I'm from, Blackbeard country. We all talk like the Wurzels. Sketch day 2, let's get on with this. So sketch day 2, I'm doing by Bun's class called Find Your Spirits. and it's all about drawing spirit guides on collage and things like that. It's very cool. I'm not going to tell you much more about it because A, I'm talking my patrons through how I'm approaching the class without telling them the content, but also I don't want to give away the content of Bun's class. So she's got a trailer on her YouTube channel made by Bun. Again, if you're watching the replay, I'll put the link down below so you can go and watch it if you want to. But one of the things we have to do is draw people and draw hands especially and things like that. The thing is, because Bun is an illustrator, I have this issue with being a bit... It's not that I copy people's illustrations, it's just that I'm very good at imitating. So if somebody tells me, draw a face like this, I will draw a face like that. But I don't want to draw a face like that. I don't want my girls to look like Buns. She draws crazy, creepy, spooky, cool girls who are all slightly Picasso-esque almost. Because they're all not quite... how would you describe them? They're not pretty girls. Let's put it that way. They're not... They're just illustrations of females, as opposed to your regular kind of whimsical, pretty, willowing type cutesy girls. You know, they're not like that. She doesn't draw that kind of stuff. She's like me. She prefers the creepy stuff. So instead of the way the class is set up, you have practice sessions, one for drawing the figure and one for drawing hands. And I decided instead of watching her video, I would just go off and draw hands and try different styles. So that was sketch day 2, and I just sat and watched Criminal Minds and drew these, just, you know, and drawing all sorts of things, trying different styles, trying different I can't read or write, but I can drive a tractor. Yeah, that's right, that's where I come from. Except we can read and write, and we can also drive tractors. It is an awesome class, Vicky. You'd enjoy it. She's got 2 other classes as well, Creatures and Lyrics. Lyrics might be right up your street, actually. But, yeah, I was just drawing hands, you know, and I tried a few, not in her style, but with her concepts that she does. So I did a hand that she tends to draw them with a single line. So I tried drawing hands with a single line. She draws hands with funny finger things happening like that, you know. So I tried that. I tried more complex hands than were in the class, because obviously it's not a beginner's class, but it's a beginner technique. No, that's not the right way to put it. It's not a beginner's class, but beginners to the technique can follow it. Let's put it that way. So if you are a beginner and you can't do this stuff, that's fine. But if you can do it, then I prefer to go off and do my own thing. So she also does hands that are cut off with bones sticking out. So I took that concept and played with it. I've got a couple with tattoos. I've got a couple of jointed ones that are like puppet fingers almost, mannequin hands. I've got a hairy one there, with ones with nails, ones with tattoos. And I have to say that hands are really hard. When you're used to drawing hands in a particular way, coming up with new styles, really hard to do, really difficult to do. But once you know how to draw hands, it's quite easy to manipulate them, and I can draw realistic hands, so it's not too bad. But even so, you can see some of these are not very good. Some of these really suck. But they're all okay for illustration, because that's the thing. Illustration is not figure drawing. It's not figurative art, it's illustration. So as long as it is recognisable as a hand, it doesn't have to be a good hand. It doesn't have to be a proportional hand. It doesn't have to be a realistic hand or anything like that. It just has to look like a hand, and they all look like hands. So all of your hands look like flippers. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Make it a style. Always draw it like that. You know, turn them into flippers. don't avoid drawing things just because you're not good at them, because guess what? If you keep avoiding things you're not good at, you're never going to get any better at them. Draw them. Draw thousands of really ugly hands. Draw flippers. Draw deformed hands. Draw really bad hands, and eventually you'll be able to draw a reasonably good hand. Sketch day 3, I started doing the spirit guides. Now this is it's not directly from her class. She has a particular technique that she teaches in the class for drawing girls. And again, I skipped that video. I don't want to know what her technique is. I have my own technique that I use of drawing faces using squares. So I went ahead and I just looked at her different spirit guides that she had on her Instagram feed and that she was showing us in class in the other videos. And then I went ahead and drew my girls in her spirit guide form. So they're recognisable, especially this one I think is recognisable. If you've done By Bun's class, you would say, oh, are you doing By Bun's class, you know. But they're recognisable as my girls. They don't look like hers at all. So it's obviously inspired by her work, but it's not the same as hers. I really like this one. I think she came out so well. She just, oh, I really like her. I think I'm going to use her in my first piece that I'm doing for the class. And I'll probably use this one as well. I really like her. I really like all of them, actually. I don't like this one. I tried her hair technique, and I don't like the hair technique. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I prefer this sort of style, which is what I do. Her style is a bit too linear for me, I guess. To me, it looks awkward because in order for it to work, you have to have the very angular kind of faces that she draws, which are just kind of very plain and simple lines, and then all the feature type bits and the intricacies are put in with paint afterwards. Whereas I tend to draw mine. I don't do it with paint afterwards. So to me, that pairing of that hair with that face, it looks flat. It looks like her hair is a cardboard cutout. Whereas when Bun does it, because that's how her girls kind of look like stickers. In fact, in the class, she actually says she intends them to look like stickers, like they've been stuck onto the page. It works for her girls because of the way she draws them. But for mine, I prefer this kind of thing. I think it's got a bit more, I don't know. It's just got something that I really like about it. But it's my style, so of course it would have. So that was the 3rd of July. So that was, what day? The 3rd of July was, Monday was the 4th, wasn't it? Or was Tuesday the 4th? Tuesday was the 4th. What did I do on the 4th then? Have I missed a page? Oh, I have missed a page. There we go. So that was, no, those girls were the 4th, because I went and did those in the coffee shop. Those girls were the 4th. And then this was the 3rd. I went back, because I said I was going to go back to this page and fill it out. Again, this was on my last live stream. Just checking my battery. Hang on a sec. We're all right. This was on my last live stream. Again, I was just throwing stickers on the page. Now, in her class and in all her videos, she actually says that her technique is more is more. The more you put on the page, the better. She's not a minimalist when it comes to her art. And I am absolutely with her on that. I have always used the thing of, you know, when it comes to mixed media, throw it at the page and see what sticks. So, and if you use good enough glue, everything will stick. So I'm quite happy to have busy pages. On my previous live stream, I had thrown down the pink paper and these. This is one of Courtney Diaz's collage bits. This is just a sticker that I printed out. I've got washi tape here. And then I had all these bunny and mushroom stickers, and I just thought, that'll do. And this picture of a hare, and I just threw them all on the page. It was like Alice in Wonderland threw up on it. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to have a page like that, I might as well go the whole hog. So I started drawing mushrooms. So these mushrooms are ink and gouache. And again, these are all drawn with my brush pen. So it just shows you the variety of lines you can get with these pens once you practice with them. And see, it says there's not much room left. Because I was going for the more is more look. So, lots of creepy mushrooms. I love that page. I might put some more creepy mushrooms in there because I like drawing creepy mushrooms. And then my parents came to visit, and I haven't done any sketch practice since. I'm going to spend today doing, not playing catch up. I don't like calling it catch up. I missed a couple of days. That's okay. Just because it's not, my challenge is not to, I must do a drawing every day. It's to do lots of sketch practice in July for One Book July. That's my project, is to do lots of sketch practice. So it wouldn't matter if I did one page or one drawing or 50 drawings or 25 hands, 4 girls, 3 different pages. It doesn't matter how much I do in a day. And if I miss a day, I miss a day. Being with my parents was more important. So I'm going to spend later this afternoon doing sketchbook practice. I'm putting out a block of time. Usually I just, I'll do it in like half an hour or an hour or something, or I'll go to the coffee shop for an hour, that sort of thing. Instead, I'm going to spend this evening doing it. So 6 o'clock-ish, I'll sit down with my tea, have a drink, put on something on YouTube and just start sketching things. And I'll just keep going until I go to bed, or till I get bored, or whenever I think I've done enough, or whenever Mr. Maddie jumps on my head and says it's knocking off time and she wants to go out. So, because the thing is, it's not, how can I put it? It's not important that I missed a day, 3 days. It's not important that I missed a day. What's important is that on day 4, I recognise that I missed a day, and I specifically have said, I'm going to make that a priority. I'm going to spend a chunk of time today, a little bit more than I normally do, doing this, because I have missed a few days. That's what's important. What's that Japanese saying? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. It's not about how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get back up and get back on the horse. So the fact that I've missed 3 days is neither here nor there. What matters is that today, I know I've missed 3 days, and I'm saying, okay, enough, I'm not missing today. I'm going to do some sketch practice today. So that's the attitude I try to give to people. There's a lot of people ask questions like, oh, I haven't journaled. That was a question that Courtney had, actually, that somebody said they hadn't journaled because they got stuck because they missed a day. I don't written journal, so maybe it's different for written journalers, but I suspect not. I suspect it's more important that instead of worrying about what days you've missed, you just get back at it today. Because it doesn't matter if today you write about what's happened today, or what happened last week, or what's happened in the last 3 months and why you haven't written for the last 3 months, or whether you do the page that you missed, or whether you just write about something that you remembered today because you heard an ice cream van and you remembered the day that your grandmother took you out and you got ice cream at the beach or something. It doesn't matter what you're writing. What matters is that you showed up today and you did something. And I really try to instill that in all my students, and to make them see that it's not important that they missed times, it's important that they're doing it now. So, because if you looked at it like that, you'd never do anything, would you? People who've never journaled before would say, oh, well, I can't start journaling because I haven't journaled for the last 25 years. Where's that logic from? It's scrapbookeritis. I blame scrapbookers for this one. Because, not scrapbookers in general as a group, as a community or anything, but the commercial scrapbooker thing was always, work in chronological order. Today we're doing last week, and yesterday was so-and-so's birthday, so that's what we're going to do today. And they kind of incidentally, almost, I don't think it was a deliberate thing, but incidentally brought through this culture of you work in chronological order in your scrapbooks. And if you've got time, you go back and do other stuff. That is from before when you started scrapbooking. And that, to me, is just mind-blowing. Why would you do that? Why would you cripple yourself creatively in that way and say, I'm not going to do that spread about my son's birthday yesterday, even though it's fresh in my mind and it would take me 10 minutes to throw it together. All I've got to do is print out the photos because I haven't journaled last Christmas yet. That's insane to me, that is. Oh, anyway, let me... went on a sidetrack there. Let me get back to chat. Hi, Ina. Sketch and watch TV. That's a good idea, watching TV or YouTube, because what it does is it gets you away from the idea of perfection. If you sit down and say, right, I'm going to get my journal and I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to draw something, it puts pressure on you for a start to say, I've got to draw something. Then it automatically makes you think, oh my God, that means I've got to finish something, which means it's got to be reasonably good. And it kind of takes you away from the idea of sketch practice. Whereas if you're just kind of moving your pen while you're watching TV, a really good one if you want to do figure drawing is to draw the people you're watching on TV. Just because you get like 20 seconds to draw somebody in the pose that they're in. And it's a real challenge, and you absolutely suck at it when you first start. Trust me, your first couple of pages will be horrendous. And then once you hit that flow, you'll suddenly get to that point where you think, actually, I'm getting the hang of this now. And like an hour later, you'll do something and you'll go, huh, that actually looks a bit like Kevin Spacey. Cool, you know. And as long as you're trying to draw Kevin Spacey, that's a good thing, I suppose. What artists inspired you to become an artist, and who inspires you now? Ooh, do you know what? I'm gonna screenshot that one. I'm gonna put that in my artist's Q&A. I'm doing an artist's Q&A video, and I'm gonna put that in it. But generally, I'm very into the post-impressionist movement. I like, especially the French painters. Cézanne, Van Gogh, Toulouse-Lautrec, all those kinds. I also like the German Expressionism, which came shortly after, Franz Marc, Marc Chagall, all those kind of painters. And contemporary painters, Jean-Michel Basquiat, who was a street artist who came to fame in the 80s, I believe, mid-80s. Sadly, he died very young. And also photography journalists, specifically photography journalism, like Peter Beard and Dan Eldon and that kind of stuff. Again, all people who throw stuff at the page and see what sticks. They've all got this same more is more philosophy. I also have a lot of contemporary, what are they called? Peers who inspire me, like by Bun. I'm very into her work at the moment. Courtney Diaz, I love her use of colour. I'm not particularly into lots of colour myself, but I like the way she uses so much of it. It kind of inspires me to branch out a little bit, because I like my black and whites and my block colours. Kristen Beau Sharif and her brother Casey Sharif, Casey is one of the best figurative artists I've ever seen, and Kristen does the most beautiful, whimsical mixed media stuff with charcoals and gel pens and glitter glue and just you name it, she throws it on there and it looks amazing. Yeah, so I'll put that in my Q&A and, you know, kind of expand on it, a few more reasons why those inspire me and why I'm drawn to that kind of stuff. But that's the kind of people who inspire me, you know. Just, if you can imagine somebody who is quite happy to just pick up a crayon and scribble on their page to make a mark, just to throw a pop of colour and just say it needs a bit of blue, scribble. Those are the kind of people who inspire me. And also fashion designers like Vivienne Westwood and Alexander McQueen and all those, the far out ones that are just crazy with their designs and really futuristic styles. I really like that kind of adventurous. McQueen's headdresses, ugh, they're to die for. More hands that look like flippers. Yep, just turn them into flippers. My hair has more lift to it. No, honey, that's not more lift. That's dry shampoo. Chronological scrapbooking really is overwhelming and a huge pain. Yes, you used to suffer with that, didn't you? I seem to remember I was one of the people who talked you out of chronological scrapbooking because it was really getting to you. I seem to remember you being very stressed about it. Just scrapbook. Just scrapbook something today. It doesn't matter what you scrapbook. It doesn't matter if you're scrapbooking something from 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago. Just scrapbook what you feel like today. You've done some scrapbooking. You know, enjoy the process. Don't worry about, you know, the scrapbook police are not going to jump out of your closet and say, you can't do that spread because you haven't journaled these photographs yet. Okay, that's all in your head. And if it's your thoughts in your head, then you can tell them to F off. There. What do I recommend for brush pens? Honestly, for brush pens, for colours, I like the cheap ones, the Ashikura Sai ones, SAI brand. Also the Lyras are very good, they're almost exactly the same. And that new brand, the water brush ones, watercolour brush I think they're called, they're advertised on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. Those are almost identical as well, and they are really nice for pops of colour. For drawing, I would much rather have a brush and ink, but these Pentel ones are very good for travelling because they're cartridge based, so you don't have any leaks. Works absolutely fine, but you know, you could just as easily get yourself a water brush and fill it with ink, which is, oh, I don't think I've got it with me, but I've got a water brush that's just filled with ink, and I've watered it down. Sorry, I've got ink all over me now. I touched the brush as I pulled the lid off. Yeah, just get an ordinary water brush like this, one of the fine ones. This is one of the fine, this is the fine Kuretake one, it's the yellow one. Something like that is almost identical size to this. It's very similar. Very similar size, very similar weight, very similar springiness, firmness, whatever you want to call it. Don't overfill it. Don't fill it chock-a-block with ink. You know, fill it maybe that far with ink, because if it leaks, it's not like water. Trust me, you don't want a massive amount of ink leaking everywhere. Filling it up with water is not going to do much damage to anything, but filling it up with ink is not good. So I fill mine up with ink when I need it, and then I empty it out afterwards if I'm travelling with it. But yeah, one of these filled with either Sumi ink or Indian ink. There's a difference between the two. One is Indian ink is Chinese, Japanese ink is no, Indian ink is Chinese, Sumi ink is Japanese, Chinese ink is for calligraphy, Japanese ink is specifically for watering down to do the layered grayscale watercolour paintings. Okay. Your Man Crush Monday. Who's your Man Crush Monday? Did I mention somebody? I don't know. I don't think it was Blackbeard. Hello from Greece. Oh. Grayson Perry. I'm not familiar with him. Alexander the Great. Okay. Oh, Kevin Spacey. Yeah, Kevin Spacey. He just gets better with age, doesn't he? Hi, Nikki. Are you... Hang on, it's the middle of the night again. What are you doing up? Or is it first thing in the morning for you? Last thing at night? I don't know. She's in Australia. Forgot to shake my ink bottle before putting it in the Pentel brush pen. Oh yeah, don't fill it from the bottom of the ink. You're far better off using a syringe to refill it, or a pipette. Don't just shove this into the ink and try and refill it that way. It's a really bad idea. Treat it like a fountain pen. But if it gunks up with ink, unless you've used carbon ink. If you've used carbon ink and it stuffs up with ink, well, you need a new brush pen, because that stuff isn't going anywhere. But just take this out and put it overnight in a bit of bicarbonate of soda and vinegar, and anything that's in it will come out. Trust me. It's plastic and nylon, and anything that is stuck to it, bicarbonate and soda and vinegar will get rid of it. Oh, it's 1 AM, you've just gone to bed. Oh, that's not too bad. You're supposed to shake ink. Well, drawing ink you are, because it's got residue in it. Fountain pen ink, I believe you don't shake it unless it's got mica powder in it. But drawing ink, it says on the bottle, shake before use. That said, Japanese ink, the sumi ink, doesn't have much residue in it. So if you're starting to get residue, you've probably got really naff ink, probably. You need to get a slightly better grade of ink. Switzerland. Hello, Switzerland. I have never been to Switzerland, but I've driven through it a couple of times on the way to other places. Ciao. Ciao. What's that? Italian? Ciao bella. It's Italian, isn't it? I've been to Italy. A vacuum sound in the background. Yeah, I think somebody's vacuuming their car. I'm out in my garden, so it does sound like somebody vacuuming their car. I don't know. We had Bob Dylan going earlier. That was pretty cool. They were belting out Mr. Bojangles from next door. Well, if you've got fountain pen ink, use fountain pen ink. Put fountain pen ink in one of these. Don't use a mica one, because mica will stuff up your bristles. But if it's a regular drawing ink, a regular fountain pen ink, that you know from experience you can leave in a fountain pen for several weeks at a time and it won't clog up your nib, and if it does you can just rinse it with water and keep going, then chuck it in one of these and see how you get on. Austria. Hello, Austria. I've been to Austria many times. I got snowed in Heiligengeist. We went to Heiligengeist and it started off weather like this. It was beautiful when we got there. It was like 20 degrees. They were saying there's not going to be any snow this weekend. You've come at the wrong time of year. It's going to be like this all weekend, but it's nice summer. We'll have dinner out on the terrace tonight. And at 10 o'clock it started to snow, and by the morning we were snowed in. So there was skiing after all. Swarovski. Do I know Swarovski? As in the place or the crystals or the company? Aliens sucking up the neighbour. I like you. Still learning about different inks, dip pen and drawing ink. Burgess, if you want to get started with a dip pen, just use an old fountain pen, especially one that, you know, perhaps doesn't write very well, perhaps the flow doesn't work anymore. Use that. Just dip that into ink instead of filling it and try it out, because just the habit of learning to not have that ink flow all the time is really good. You'll learn a lot just from that, and then when you get a drawing pen it'll be a lot easier. Hey Lisa. Catch the rest later. Okay. Oh, off for the parade. 1950s style parade. Excellent. My bullet journal videos. Oh, my bullet journal videos are really simple. I don't believe in lots of frou-frou. I don't have time for that. If I'm going to do frou-frou stuff, it goes in my journal. It doesn't go in my bullet journal. My bullet journal's for work. I'm just checking my... Oh, we're doing all right for... We're doing all right for battery. We're on 50 minutes. Let's... Glass pens are beautiful. They are really, really nice. I have a good combination. I have a glass pen handle with a regular nib. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it. It's my favourite pen ever. I use it a lot, even when like drawing or at my desk or whatever. A cheap, really nice fountain pen. Yep. Pilot Preppies. I'm not familiar with Pilot Preppies, but yeah, over here we use Parker pens. Parker pens and Parker Quink ink. No, I don't want to marry you, sorry. Yay, I just got my first YouTube proposal. No. I don't have any of my pens here, but Parker regular drawing inks are yep, you are in time out, mate. Bye bye. What do you have for equipment? So I'm going to have to scroll back to see what your previous question was, because I saw you ask one and I didn't catch it. Swarovski. I'm sorry. I think we've got a bit of a language barrier there, Turtle. I'm not quite following what you're asking. Jinhao pen, 750. Yes, the Jinhaos are fantastic. I have the 720 version, which is my incredibly crazy... Oh, you're an Austrian troll. Okay. Well, thank you for telling me you're a troll. And goodbye. Grab your bag, you've pulled. We say here's 20p to call your mum. Tell her you won't be coming home. Jinhao 720. The 750s are great as just regular fountain pens. They're brilliant introductory pens, and you can get loads of different nibs for them. I have the 720 version, which takes the 720 nibs, but it's my crazy dragon. I don't have it with me, it's indoors. Derwent colouring pencils, love Derwent colouring pencils. I have the artist pencils, I have the soft pencils. I have a full set of 2072 of both of them. I use the artist pencils for drawing because they're quite hard, and I use the Derwent soft colour soft pencils for colouring because they're awesome and they save my Prismacolors for professional work. You want me to say your name and I'm the weirdo? Bye. Oh, lots of spammers. Bye-bye, spammers. A drawing tablet. Hang on, I missed that. Somebody said a drawing tablet. Yes, I've got the ISKN. Yeah, that's what it's called, the ISKN tablet. You can use it on your phone or your computer or whatever. I also have a Wacom Bamboo. I love my Bamboo. I use it for everything. I use it like a mouse. I use it for editing my videos, everything. "99 degrees in Arizona." Well, I'm sorry, but you live in the middle of the desert. That's stupidness. I don't know what that says, sorry. I'm assuming it's German. My German is not very good. Of course it's so hot in Arizona. It's the desert. The Daily Greatness Business Planner. Yes. As a teacher, I don't know. I think... Oh, you sound like my mum now. It's a dry heat. It's still hot, okay? Natural redhead. We burn. The Daily Greatness Business Planner I would recommend for people like me who run their own business and have a lot to organise and have to do small base clientele and promotions and marketing and things like that. If you are a one-woman team or just a couple of you running a business, it's a really good planner. It's fantastic for all of that. If you are a teacher, it could work if you're doing your admin side with it. And I speak from having been a college teacher. So I didn't teach primary school, but I did teach college level. So organising lectures and following curriculums and all that kind of stuff. It could work for that. It definitely could work for that. For organising meetings, organising your academic side, your teacher to teacher life, yes, you can absolutely use it for that. For organising teacher to student, I wouldn't recommend it. It doesn't really follow that kind of plan. But did they say they were bringing out a teacher planner? Or they've brought out a teacher planner? Check their website. Check the Daily Greatness website, because I'm sure they had something that was similar that I thought, hang on a minute, that would work quite well as a teacher planner. If you're looking for something more for reflection, for personal development, and for all that kind of stuff that you have to do, then the Daily Greatness Journal is very good. I can definitely recommend that. I use that for artistic personal development, if you like. It's hard to describe it, but, you know, where am I up to and what am I doing? 20% off sale notice. Excellent. Not lesson planning. Important dates. Yeah, if you've got to do, if you've got to organise all your admin side, like making sure that you remember when you do reports and run curriculum changes and staff meetings and all that kind of stuff, or if you manage a team of people, then it would be really good. It would definitely work for you because it's undated. So you can do it on a weekly basis. So if you've got a really busy week, you could use it. And if you have don't have a busy week or it's holidays, you can just ignore it and come back to it later. So you don't have to have loads of missing pages. So the 12-month planner would actually last you possibly almost 2 years of school life. So yes, for that I would recommend it. 107 in California. Well, you're just crazy. That's all there is to it. Now I've forgotten where I got up to. So, oh, okay. So, yes, One Book July. That's my One Book July and my project that I'm doing. To help along with my project, let me check my battery again. We're all right. To help along with my project, I just got this. I purchased this off a friend of mine, thank you Maisie, who was having a clear out and put it up for sale, and I said, oh, I've been wanting that, and her price was better than Amazon's. So I helped a fellow crafter out and I purchased this. I'm a big fan of Carla Sondheim. I absolutely love her crazy animals. Her blobbermals are fantastic. This is the kind of stuff she does, and it looks very complex, but it's so simple to do. You just put loads of watercolour washes down, add various different contours and see what happens. It's like it's all based, or not all of it, but a lot of her work is based on pareidolia, which is if you see patterns in carpets and wallpapers that aren't there, when you see, you know, you look at the clouds and you go, oh look, there's a teddy bear with a milkshake, that's pareidolia. It's seeing things that aren't actually there because your brain is trying to turn it into something and says, oh, hang on a minute, 2 eyes, a nose and a mouth, that kind of looks like a bunny rabbit. It's using the functions that we use to look at something that we've never seen before and say, oh, that must be some kind of a dog, or that must be some kind of a bear. You know, it's using those functions. And she comes up with some really awesome stuff. She's got other artists featured in here as well. I like that. Catherine Dunn. I don't know who she is. I don't know if she's a featured artist. I don't know who she is, whether she's just somebody who does art or a fellow teacher or what, but that's very Marc Chagall-like. I like that one. And then this is like the Blobberballs, but with her own take on it. But this one is the 52 creative exercises to make drawing fun. Now, when I said I was doing sketch practice, or if you say you're going to do sketch practice, a lot of people are like, but how do you know what to draw? And it's a big thing, especially with beginners. I want to draw, but I don't know what to draw. And most of us just say, draw whatever's in front of you. Draw your phone, draw your teacup, draw your feet, draw your dog, you know. But if you need a bit more help than that, because that seems too daunting, something like this is really fun to do, because she has, like it says, 52 different exercises. Let's pull one at random. Scribbly drawings. So, what will you need? A sheet of paper, something to look at as references, photos, animals, people, what you have sat around you, and a ballpoint pen. And you are making scribbly drawings. See? That's one of her exercises, scribbly drawings. I don't think there's anybody who could say they couldn't do that. Or this, you know, drawing people as scribbly drawings. It's not figure drawing, it's scribbling. So this is the kind of stuff that you know, if I sit down and I think, oh, I want to do some sketch practice, but I fancy drawing, oh, I don't know. Open this, pick a page and go, oh, look, doodling on steroids. Pick lots of coloured pens and start doodling on coloured paper. What an excellent idea, that'll do. You know. And then it's got, you know, more stuff like taking it further, doing random stuff on with paint fabric markers on material, or painting your own backgrounds and doodling on those. Hi John, I saw you creep in there. Wet heat in Arizona would be a plus. Yeah, you don't get much rain, do you? Salt Lake City, hello. Using a Franklin Covey and doing a no spend month. Bringing your love of writing into play. Well, yeah, if you can't go out shopping, you spend more time writing, don't you? What sites or books do you recommend to begin art for a nearly 40-year-old dreamer? YouTube. Get yourself on YouTube. What are you interested in? Find what you like drawing. Do you have dreams of drawing dragons? Go and find an artist who draws dragons. Do you like anime? Go and find somebody like Mark. Oh my god, complete blank on his name. What's Mark's name? He's like the most famous anime artist on YouTube. Draw with Jazza if you like to do like cute cartoony type animation stuff. Draw with Jazza does that kind of stuff. If you happen to like drawing pretty girls and stuff, then there's people like me and Willowing and all sorts of people who do that kind of stuff. If you want to draw animals, if you want to draw realistically, there is a person for everybody out there. All you've got to do is go and find somebody who does what you want to do. Not to be stereotypical, although I'm going to be. That's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it? But I do tend to find that guys who draw tend to like the way Alfonso Dunn teaches. So check out Alfonso Dunn first. Try him because he approaches drawing in a very logical, step-by-step way. He's not whimsical in any way. He's a very extremely talented artist who can do some amazing things just with a ballpoint pen. And if that's the kind of art that you quite fancy being able to do, just being able to, you know, whip out a notebook and a ballpoint pen when you're in a coffee shop and doodle somebody, or draw the table in front of you, or whatever, that kind of stuff. Or if you want to do figure drawing or something, he is absolutely fantastic. Go check him out. I would recommend him as a good place to start. But if you have a specific style that you want to do, like anime or something like that, manga, animation, whatever, just go and find an artist on YouTube who does that, and eventually you'll find somebody who really gels with you and you absolutely love their videos, and you'll binge watch them, everything they've ever done, and you'll find yourself just drawing along with them eventually. You live in the UK and we're not used to anything really other than a good drizzle. Yeah. Grey. It's very grey here. This is the height of summer. Yeah, Bill Bailey. I'm gonna have to read this out because it's good. I love Bill Bailey. He's fantastic. He's from my area, you know. He lives, well, he's from just up the road from where I come from. Bill Bailey was asked when Britain's wet season is, and he said it started around 10,000 BC and has continued ever since. This is true. It's true. Even today, you know, it's 22 degrees, it's beautiful, not a cloud in the sky, it's sunny. I bet it's forecast rain later. Mark Crilly, thank you. That's who I was trying to think of. If you are into manga and anime style and the Japanese style art, go and try Mark Crilly. Or if you like doing like hyper realistic stuff, he draws stuff like a playing card on a page, and he'll have the playing card on the paper next to him, and by the time he's finished you won't be able to tell the difference between his drawing and the original. He's incredible at hyper realistic. Alfonso Dunn loves cross hatching. Yes, he does. Andrew Geeson, yes, he's very good. He's a watercolour painter, isn't he? And James Gurney is also very good. One Book July, I've been talking about One Book July for the last hour. It's going very well. I'm trying to get back to it. I keep getting sidetracked. Yes, for my sketching, I picked this up. Not that I have problems coming up with ideas to sketch, but you know, just sometimes you sit down to do your sketch practice and you think, oh, I don't know what to. You're late to the party. It's all right. It'll be saved on YouTube. You can watch the replay later. You can watch the first half afterwards. Yeah, sometimes you just don't know what to draw, and it just takes opening a book and seeing frogs. Draw frogs from the back. Okay. That'll do. The secret with something like this is to not be picky and not say, oh no, I don't want to draw frogs. You know, you can't get into that mindset. If you get into that mindset, that's perfectionism. Look at these cute little dogs. These are done with a brush pen. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. Oh, that's my sketch practice. I'm going to draw Maddie and Scooby like that. I'm going to put let me find a sticker to put in. Oh, I'll put a pencil in there. That'll be my sketch practice later. I'm going to have a go at those. See, just flip through a book and something will come to you and you go, oh, that looks cool. So my other One Book July, my part 3, my Go Big or Go Home, is doing all 3. And this is what I'm using for that. It's an altered book. I can't really show you too much of it at the moment because I've got a lot of work in progress going on, but it's just an old book on crystals that has lots of interesting imagery in it. It's not just crystals in there. It's got, like you see, this picture of the Queen, picture of the world, a man in a chair. There's all sorts of really interesting pictures going on in here. And I'm using this for By Buns class because it's an altered book class where you do painting and collage. I'm also adding in other bits like I saw the Merry Atelier. I don't know if you watch her, but she was doing something she calls reverse collaging, which is taking a page like this and painting out everything but the bit she wants to keep. And I thought, you know, I could do that with something like this, paint out the rest of the page black and just keep this and then do collage in By Buns style over the top. So I thought that would be fun. I'll show you very quickly the page that I've got furthest through the class on, just to give you an idea of what we're doing in the class. But again, like I say, if you're watching the replay, I'll put the link to By Buns' video down below, and you can also go and check her out on YouTube, Made by Bun, or what's her Instagram name? I think she's just By Bun on Instagram. She's either By Bun or Made by Bun, depending on where you look for her. But that's the page I'm doing at the moment. That's all I'm going to show you of that. You'll have to watch the replay and screenshot it if you really want to see what's on there. But at this stage, it's too, I think, for those who know what they're doing, it's too easy to see what we're doing in the class for me to show you any more than that. And I'm going to show, my patrons are going to see what we're actually doing, or what I'm actually doing with it later on. So that's my 3. I also said that I wanted to get another sketchbook, so I'm going for the I said in the rules video that another interpretation of the one book is to have one planner, one journal, one altered book, one sketchbook, one scrapbook, one writing book, you know, that kind of thing, so that you can split it up and have some variety, but you're not doing the same thing all the time, just in one book all the time, because that would drive me insane. I'd be bored stupid doing that. So I picked up, again, this one was from Maisie. She was selling it because it was a spare and her price was better than Amazon, so I picked this one up. It's just the watercolour moleskin, so it's a reporter notebook, but it's also landscape, so you can do portrait or landscape. It's a hardback book, which is what I like to use when I'm drawing, and it's smaller than the one I'm currently using, and it's watercolour paper, so I'll be using this for urban sketching. So that's my new watercolour journal. I will break that in at some point very soon. Let me scroll back and just catch up with comments. Mary's lots of fun and has lots of great ideas. Yeah, she's brilliant. She has the same approach to stuff as me. do it and see what happens. She has no fear of, oh, well, I'm not sure if I should do this, I'm not sure if I should do that. She's very intuitive. Like, I was watching one of her videos the other day. She's got a glue book that she just throws spare paint and glue in, and she was going through adding top collage, and one of the things she did was she had all these dresses cut out, pre-cut, or her fussy cuts as she calls them, things that she's magpied from magazines and fussy cut them out. And she was just flipping through her glue book and she went, oh, I've got some dresses that would look good on these. And she had all these different backgrounds that were very similar but all different colours, and she just started gluing all these pictures down. She's like, oh yeah, I like that, you know. I like the way she works on stuff. Yeah, hello foreign people saying things I don't actually understand. My French and German is not that fluent. If you're here for the video, thank you for joining us, and if you're just trolls, please go away. So, yep, that's it for the questions and stuff. You found me via my faith videos. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my stuff. Trolls, excellent. I love trolls because you know what I do with trolls? I go, boom. And then I go, boom. And then they're gone. I love trolls. Bye-bye. So that's my One Book July update. It's been a bit rambly, and it's been a lot longer than I expected it to be, because my battery lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And boom, and the troll is gone. Yep. The block button is the sillet bang of YouTube. Lisa will get that because she's from the UK. Bang! And the troll is gone. Oh dear. Right, okay. I need a drink and I need to stop recording because we're up to 1 hour 13. That's more than long enough, even for a live YouTube. I am going to do my sketchbook practice, and if you are interested in seeing more of what I'm doing, Lisa should be a mod. She speaks lots of languages. I think she probably should be, actually. Next time she comes in, I'm just going to mod her. What was I saying? Sketch practice. Oh, yes, if you want to see more of what I'm doing, I am going to be doing weekly updates. I might do another... Oh, I can't do a YouTube live next Saturday because I'm doing one for my patrons. And the following week I'm doing urban sketching. But I might try it on a Friday. Might try doing one Friday evening, catch a few different people, and then the rest of you who this is a good time for can watch the replay. Yeah, weekly updates, rambly updates like this, and then if you want to see more in depth, then my Patreon is up and running, patreon.com/RhomanysRealm. You'll find it in the links below the video. Starts at $1 if you want to come and join us. My patrons this month are getting, the bottom tier are getting my studio updates, so they're getting mini vlogs, as I'm calling them, mostly daily, but they haven't had a daily one for the last couple of days because my parents were here and I couldn't film with my parents because my parents don't do the internet. So I couldn't film anything really. So I'm going to catch up that today and do a slightly longer vlog to show them what I'm up to. That should be up tomorrow. They're also getting, the top tier is getting updates on my by bun class that I'm doing. That's this one that I just showed you. I am not showing them how I'm doing anything from buns class itself. That would be ethically wrong. I am just showing them what I'm doing, and I'm not filming it. I'm just talking them through how I'm approaching the class. So if you're interested in seeing how a art teacher approaches an art class with somebody else, that might be of interest to you, because I see a lot of people who take a class, and it's a bit of an ongoing thing with art teachers, that we do tend to play class bingo, in that we watch people's feeds and you can tell when somebody's doing somebody's class, because suddenly their style completely changes, because obviously they're a beginner, they don't have their own style yet. So it's very easy to just copy what teacher says and end up doing exactly the same as teacher. So we'll be like, oh, she's doing Willowing's class, and she's doing Susie's class, and she's doing one with Mindy Lacefield. Not in a mean way, we don't mean it in a mean way at all, we're just curious to see what people are doing. But it equally, when we've done that after a while, all these styles merge together and we see these beginner artists become better artists, and suddenly their own style emerges, and you'll see, oh, they've taken that little bit of that and that little bit of that, but then they've started doing this with it, it's crazy, oh, I love that, you know. And it's so nice to initially see somebody, you know, first they paint like this, first they paint like that, and then they paint like this, and then they paint like that, and eventually it all comes together and they start painting like them. And that's where I like to be. And I encourage my students to do that. You won't find my students drawing pictures like I draw pictures, because I don't teach them to draw like I draw, I teach them drawing. And I think that's very important. There is a place for learning to draw and copy from others, absolutely. It's been the way the art world has worked for centuries, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. I learnt the same way. I used to copy my mum, who was an art teacher. That's where I started art from. But you know, your own style comes from learning other people's and learning what works for you and what doesn't. And if you don't try other people's hats on, as it were, you'll never find your own style. It's just like clothes. It's exactly the same. You know, if you don't try on different trends, you know, sometimes you might try something on thinking, oh my God, this is going to look terrible on me. And actually, you try it on and it really flatters your body shape. And you say, well, actually, if this was in a colour I liked, this would work. So you can be pleasantly surprised by finding little hidden gems that work for you. And then other things you'd be like, nope, I'm not touching that one. I'm not going there. Not happening. And that's fair enough, you know. You try different things and then eventually you get your own style and you start being you. Trust me, there is not an art teacher on the planet, not a single art teacher on the planet who hasn't tried to follow their students and see what classes they're doing and how they're getting along, and those ones who keep going with it and keep going with it, trust me, every single one of us cheers for you when we finally see your style emerge and we go, yes, they've done it. And you won't see it. Trust me, you will never see your own style. You'll still be bellyaching about not having your own style 2 years after you've already got a style that we all recognise and go, oh, that's one of so-and-so's. Trust me. If you can't find your art style after a year of trying, ask your art friends what your art style is and they will tell you, because they'll see it before you do. That's my bit of advice. I ramble a lot, don't I? It's very hot. This is what happens when I don't have a plan and it's really warm. Hey, Scooby-Doo. Hi, Scoob. Do you want to come and say hello? You come and say hello? Come up and say hello. Here's Scooby-Doo. Hello, Scooby-Doo. Oh, hello. Hi. Hello, little boy. Oh, got lots of questions coming up again. Hang on. Oh. Lisa should be a mod. Yes, next time I see Lisa in, I'm just going to mod her. This is your first one, book July, and totally love the idea of everyone around the globe doing a challenge. Yeah. It was never meant to be a yearly tradition. I just got really... Well, the three of us actually just got really fed up with everybody going, you've got to do some planning with me, and then all they did was stick washi tape to a page. And I'm like, that's not planning. And then everybody was confused because all these people who were really, really, really good at making absolutely beautiful layouts with just washi tape and stickers, you know, it intimidated everybody else, and they were like, well, I can't do that, so I don't know how to plan. And we're like, but that's not planning, that's decorating. And we just got fed up with seeing people so despondent that they couldn't make their bullet journals and planners and everything else look as pretty as everybody else was doing it. So we decided to set up this challenge where it would be, you know, get your system down. Decide what it is you want. Forget about the fussy bits. Just decide what it is you want. Start with one book and one pen and grow from there and see what it is you need and add to it as you go along. And by the end of the month, you'll know what you need, and then you'll be able to say, okay, this is the bare minimum that I need. And now, if I want to make it pretty, this is the options I've got. What do I want to use? Oh, I like stickers. I'll throw stickers all over the page, you know. And it's not just planning, it's journaling as well, obviously. Claire, actually, the Journal CEO, go and check out her channel and her magazine. She's got a written journaling magazine. She's primarily a written journaler, but every so often she does collages where she just cuts bits out of magazines, or she just does pages where she just finds really cool stickers that she loves and she sticks them on the page. Why? Because she likes the stickers and they look cool. Nothing wrong with that. As Burgess has started saying, your journal, your way. It's fun to find your own style, and it's very important. It is important, but people put too much emphasis on it, I think. They spend too much time looking for it. And I think it's more important to let it find you and recognise it when it does. Just, yes, learn how to draw, and your style will emerge in time. Have I gotten my hands on the new professional series colour pencils that Derwent is coming out with? No, I haven't. But if Derwent want to sponsor me with a set, that would be absolutely bloody marvellous. I love Derwent pencils so much. I really like most of Derwent's range, actually. And absolutely, I would happily take a set off their hands if they want to have a UK artist showing them on YouTube. Hint, hint. It's not going to happen, is it? You wanted to watercolour animals and you couldn't do it for love nor money, but painting landscapes you can do. Well, you know, there's really not that much difference between a tree and a dog. It's just shapes with colour. The tricky thing is the eye. Romanie's Rambles. Oh my god! I should have a vlog channel called Romanie's Rambles. I've got to write that down. I love that. I've been thinking of having another channel for this kind of stuff. I might have to do that. Ha. I'm totally going to steal that. I suppose I'll have to credit you, won't I? You enjoy the rambles. Okay. Enthusiasm about art and planners. I'm enthusiastic about everything. I'm always like this. I'm an introvert and I'm an INTP, and I much prefer to be on my own, not being bothered by people, but I'm extremely enthusiastic about what I do. I believe everybody is creative. I believe everybody can be creative. I don't believe that it's a natural talent, because trust me, I wasn't born with an ounce of natural talent. It's just a proclivity for it, you know. I wouldn't say my sister has a natural talent for maths. She just happens to be good with numbers. And she enjoys maths, so she's really bloody good at it. And I'm the same with art, you know, and writing and drawing. I like to doodle, and I happen to be really bloody good at it. In the same way that you know, there are those who can teach and those who can't. If you can teach anything that you understand. If you can't teach, it doesn't matter how well you know your subject, you're never going to be able to explain it to somebody else. Teaching is a learned skill. You can learn to teach, but if you've got a natural proclivity for explaining things in a very simple way, then... Ah, there we go. See, now you butterfly girl. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I was always the type of person saying, oh, I can't draw because it doesn't look like the book. Thank you for encouraging me to try drawing. Now I really enjoy doing it, and I like that it comes out like me. Exactly. Because what you did was you practiced. You just picked up a pencil and you practiced. I was having the same conversation with somebody the other day. Was it you on Instagram that I was having this conversation with? She said, no, I think it was Laura. She said she'd been put off by the fear of but it's not going to be any good. So she switched it around and she said, you know what? I'm going to accept that it's not going to be any good and I'm going to draw ugly stuff. My mission is going to be to draw ugly stuff. And that has got her to the page every single day drawing stuff. And guess what? She's getting better. And her stuff isn't as ugly as she thought it was. Especially in retrospect, you'll often find that if you're on your second sketchbook or something, go back and look at your first one, you'll be amazed. You'll look at it and go, oh, that really wasn't very good. And I was so proud of it at the time too. But then you'll see other things and you'll think, gosh, I'm really good at drawing hair. Or I'm really good at drawing dogs. You'll spot things that you really are good at, and things that, like themes and styles that pop out at you, and you know, that kind of stuff you can only see in retrospect. You can't see it at the time, trust me. Hey, baby. Shh. But you'll get to a point eventually where you'll start to appreciate all your crap drawings. Because I said this on Facebook the other day, it's not about talent. Anybody can learn to draw. My advantage over somebody who hasn't drawn since they were 10 is that I've had an extra 35 years of practice. I have got many, 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 many books like this full of crap drawings, and full of good drawings, and some full of intermediate drawings, and some full of, well, you know, I was trying to experiment with this particular style and that didn't work, you know. It's not frustrating, but it's hard to get through to people that just because you've got 8 of these and you still don't consider yourself very good doesn't mean you've done enough practice, okay? I've got probably close to 800 of these and I still don't consider myself as good as some of the people I look up to as artists. And certainly, you know, in some things, my urban sketching needs a lot to be desired. I'm nowhere near as good at urban sketching as I am at portrait painting. I'm nowhere near as good with oil colours as I am with watercolours. I'm nowhere near as good with painting as I am with drawing and inking. Because you learn different things at different rates, and you can't just say, oh, I'm crap at drawing. If you haven't drawn since you were 10, expect to draw like a 10-year-old and you can only get better. But you only get better with practice. Take it, I'm fine without the credit. Oh, thank you, Celtic Prince. Oh, bye, troll. Could I do a list of YouTubers, Instagrammers, bloggers, etc.? That would be useful. Yeah, I'll do that in my Q&A video. In fact, I might even do a separate video for it. Let me... People who inspire me and who I think are good teachers. Because there's a lot of people who are good at art who suck as teachers, believe me. And there's a lot of very good teachers who suck at art, but because they understand what they're explaining, they can explain it without even showing you necessarily a first-rate version of it, and you'll still understand the principles well enough to go off and practice. So, yes, I'll do that. All about the practice, training for a marathon. Exactly! There is no way in hell I could get up and run to the shop right now, let alone do a marathon. But if I trained and I wanted to do it, I don't want to do it. Do I look like a runner? But if I wanted to do it, and I pushed myself and I worked at it, and I didn't just say, oh, I'm not going to do it today because I don't feel like it. I still got out and said, you know what? I don't feel like it, but I'm going to go for a run around the block anyway, just to say I've done something. You know, at least put in the minimum amount of effort every single day, and you'll get better eventually. And even if you don't end up running a marathon in the end, and you decide, you know what, I can run 5k, that's good enough for me. You know, maybe you celebrate by doing the cancer run in October, or you do a run for charity of your own choosing, whatever. It doesn't matter, you know. You're still doing better than people who are still sat on the couch drawing like me. That's how I look at it. Well, if you make sorry, I keep forgetting I'm live. You draw often, and if you make a mistake, just say, "Oh well, it's drawing practice." Exactly, that is what you need to do. If you make a mistake, what have you done? you've learned not to make that mistake again. You've learned, perhaps, you know, let's say you're drawing somebody sat on the sofa opposite you, and you draw them and it doesn't look right, and after a while you realise that it's because the legs don't look good. Everything else looks fine, the legs look bloody awful, and you say, well, okay, so it looks awful, it's a bad drawing, oh well. Right next to it, why is it a bad drawing? Well, the head's not bad, the face is good, I'm happy with the background, but the legs, oh my god, the legs. I need to learn to draw legs. And then get up off your couch and go running over to wherever it is that you learn, your college, your favourite art teacher, your class, your YouTube channel that you like, your blog, Pinterest, it doesn't bloody matter. Just get up off the couch and go and look at somebody who can draw legs and learn to draw legs. And you'll probably look at it and go, oh, foreshortening. That's why I didn't get it right. Because trust me, people sitting down, if the legs look wrong, it's always foreshortening is the error. Always foreshortening is the problem. People don't make the legs long enough because they're trying to make them... In foreshortening, the leg, instead of looking like that, bent at the knee, looks like that. And what people try to do is, instead of making it look like that, they try to make it look that tall because it's a flat drawing. And that are not the same thing. And that's foreshortening. If you don't understand it, go and look up Alfonso Dunn, he explains it brilliantly. Cylinders. Slow down and have patience. Yes, it doesn't happen in a day. And it... motorbike. I do commission artwork. And if I do a commission, I will do sketch practice for that commission. I don't just sit down and paint a picture. I do reference photos. I do reference pictures. I will try, you know, if I'm drawing somebody and their dog, I tend to do children and their animals. I will try and get the facial features around the eyes right, because if you can get the eyes right, the rest of the face doesn't matter. If you can get the look in the eyes, this triangle, if you can get that triangle right, I can't get the triangle, but you between the eyebrows and the nose, that triangle there. Oh, shut up. If you can get that triangle right, the rest of the face doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want with the rest of the face and it'll still look like the person. So I always practice drawing that triangle, and just that triangle, over and over and over again. I've done upwards of 100 drawings for some that I want it to look exactly like the person, so you've got to practice. You can't just pick it up and start, suddenly it draws like, it looks like the person. And just because on YouTube you see somebody pick up a pencil and start drawing it and it looks like the person, doesn't mean that before YouTube they didn't spend a lot of time practicing how to do that. And a lot of the people who can do that, the people who've done stints at the seaside where you draw caricatures or, you know, on-the-spot portraits and scribbles and sketches of people, and they've spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours sitting in coffee shops drawing everybody they look and see. So, struggle with noses. I never know if I should do nostrils as shadows, etc. That's partly a stylistic thing, and also it's biology. Learn what is under the nose, what is under the skin. Don't try and draw the skin. Don't try and draw the skin, just draw what's under the nose. Learn about the anatomy of the nose. And then, once you do that, you'll be able to... Whoa, scrolling. Once you understand what's under the skin, you'll be able to draw what's on top of the nose. And you'll understand why there are shadows there and why the nostrils look dark. And because the nostrils aren't dark, that's the problem. The nostrils are shaded. If you turned a nose inside out, it would be the same colour as probably the inside of somebody's mouth. It would be red and pink and, you know, skin coloured. It wouldn't be black. Well, I suppose some people's noses might be. Ew. My niece outgrew the Mary Poppins I got from you. Oh, you bought my Mary Poppins! And she gave it back to you for your birthday. Oh, how sweet! Oh, that's lovely. What a lovely thing. Spend 10,000 hours doing something before you can do it the first time. Yep. Study skulls first. Not necessarily skulls, but certainly anatomy. You don't need to study the whole skull if you understand, or you're already getting, the rest of the skull right. What you do need to understand is that it might not be your noses that are the problem. And I've had this with a lot of my students. Just checking my battery. I'm going to have to go in a minute because my battery's almost dead. A lot of my students will find that it's not the nose that's the problem. They've drawn the nose beautifully, but the mouth is out of line, or the eyes are too close together, or the face is not big enough for the rest of the features. So make sure that it is your noses that are the problem before you start assuming that you don't know how to draw noses, because sometimes it's an optical illusion. What I would recommend is draw a photograph of somebody and then print out the photo and take the nose piece and stick it on the page. I mean, obviously it's not going to be to scale or whatever, but if you look at it and it looks kind of about right, then your nose isn't the problem. Something else is out of proportion or out of place. She's young enough to think you can outgrow Mary Poppins. You can give it back to her later. Give it back to her for her 21st. When she realises that Mary Poppins is awesome. Spend time just drawing the eyes before moving on to faces. Yeah, the eyes really are the windows to the soul. Hello, Russia. The eyes really are the windows to the soul. If you can get the eyes right, that little bit there, if you can get the eyes right, you can do anything. There is lots of, I can't remember his name, there's a YouTuber who does just eyes, and he literally only draws that bit. So if you've got glasses, he includes the eyebrows, the eyes, and the top of the nose. He doesn't even draw all the nose. And you can still tell exactly who it is he's drawing just from the eyes. Don't forget my charger. Practice the triangle. Yep. Hello, Ireland. You just missed us, unfortunately. I'm just about to log off because my battery's going. Cut it in half and draw the other half. Yeah, that's an exercise I do with my students. And also cut out the nose and draw the eyes. Or cut out the eyes and draw the nose. Or cut out the nose and mouth and draw the eyes. Or cut out the middle of the face and draw the face shape. Very good exercise to do. Right, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me. Hope you've had an interesting hour and a half that I wasn't intending to be here for. I'm going to go and do my sketch practice. Go get out your sketchbooks. And remember, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.